it going, everyone? It's your boy, Johnny Clutch. I got Ty with me. Before we start, hit that like button, please, and also hit that subscribe button. We're so close to 50 subscribers, about 5 away at the time of this recording. But let's get into it. So, this Bills episode will not be, we won't be as happy as the last couple.
No, but
A lot's happened.
You just gotta laugh it off, I guess.
Bye week couldn't come at a better time.
Yeah, I agree.
So, since our last recording, we witnessed the loss on Sunday night to the Patriots, and then the loss on Monday night to the Falcons.
I think we just gotta stop playing primetime games.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, it'd be nice to get a break from those, especially since I like going to bed early.
I mean, we'll get a break our next game. So.
Yeah, but there's been some recurring themes going on these last couple games. I feel. I mean, just stuff. Some things are out of character that I feel will get fixed. Some other things that I don't know if they're going to get fixed. I think there was things that you have to address in the off season. They just didn't.
Right.
What's your biggest takeaway from these last two games?
Just how different they look, and I think now teams are figuring out how to just nitpick at them, offensively and defensively, and I think the Patriots really set the tone, and I think especially offensively after seeing what Stephon Diggs did. I think Atlanta definitely looked at that and noticed, hey, they run this zone and there's going to be a lot of stuff in the middle of the field open, so we're going to take advantage of that, and they definitely did.
Yeah, playing zone on Drake London is a choice, that's for sure. There's been something that I feel can get fixed. I'm going to start positive here. I think the penalties will stop. I think that's something McDermott's going to nip and stuff like that. It's definitely been a problem these last couple weeks. Turnovers as well. Josh has been turning the ball over more, which is something he wasn't doing for a while. But some other things though that are definitely upsetting to see is our secondary. I don't know if that's something that's going to get better. The thing is, the Bills had a whole offseason to address these issues. Like, everyone did have questions about safety, at cornerbacks and stuff like that. And you know what I mean? I know Harrison got out, but he's still a rookie. You know what I mean? You can't expect, even when he comes back, for him to fix a lot of things.
Right.
You're still missing Hoyt, and you're still missing Ogunjobi. I know that's not defensive backfield, but having a better pass rush and a better front doesn't hurt. But I'm just really disappointed with Brandon Beane. You know what I mean? It's easy for us to sit here and say, in hindsight, you know what I mean, they could have done this, X, Y, and Z, but also, too, these guys are watching. These guys saw these safeties last year and brought some new guys in this year and looked at, the room as a whole and said, this is good enough.
Right.
And it obviously just hasn't. I think Bishop's been okay. Rapp just has been a mess.
Yeah.
Honestly, and this is nothing against Jordan Poyer. I think he played a good second half when he was called upon last game. But if Jordan Poyer's our best answer, it wants to send me in a little bit of panic mode. We got rid of him because he was washed a couple years ago.
Right.
So,
I mean, Justin Simmons is out there.
Make a call.
That's all I'm saying. But yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. It's just, I feel like it's just a huge wake up call for us.
Mm-hmm.
I think, a lot of people fell into, like, the Bills have an easy schedule, the Ravens aren't doing good, and the Chiefs aren't doing good, the Bengals have no Burrow, and, everyone's just kind of, I think, just looking too far ahead. So I think, it's definitely a reality check. I don't think it's a time to panic. New England's doing their thing. They're playing a last place schedule, so
yeah,
they're gonna win games. They're gonna lose games too, but at the end of the day, it's just there's so much that can be fixed. Offensive play calls, defensive play calls. Like you said, I mean, we're getting Ogunjobi and Hoyt back. We already have the roster spots for it, so it'll be interesting to see how those guys are. I mean, we are really struggling against the run too.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, like, a guy like, Ogunjobi can really help, like, Ed Oliver, Daquan Jones, and, really just plug up that middle. So hopefully we're not getting exposed like Bijan did to us. But, I mean, the Falcons beat us with 2 people.
Yeah.
It was Bijan and London the whole game.
Yeah, I mean, it was really bad that first half. You could even say we got saved by the clock. It should have been 28 points at halftime. You know what I mean? we were outplayed, just plain and simple. And we were outplayed against New England too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I felt we were kind of lucky to be in that game with how many mistakes we were making. Obviously, the defensive side of the ball had its problems. What about the offensive side of the ball? I think obviously it hasn't been a good 2 weeks there either. Um, just a lot of things you can point to. Joe Brady just hasn't been very good these last couple of games. Probably two of his worst games as our offensive coordinator. I can't really recall worse games from him ever since he's taken over.
Mm-hmm.
Receivers aren't getting any separation. You can see Josh is frustrated, and some of it's on Josh too. I'm absolving him of everything here.
Yeah.
But it just seems like everything just seems really difficult right now.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the answer to that is, you got to have James Cook on the field. I don't think a lot of people want to be so reliant, but I mean, that's our bread and butter right now is being able to run the ball. And some people might think that's, not the best idea, or maybe they don't want that because you have the MVP on your team, and they might say, hey, just let him throw it. But at some point, you got to give Josh some help.
Yeah.
So having Cook, and the thing is that Cook, what people might not know, people might know, this guy was catching the ball in college too. You can line him up as a receiver even when you're in a situation where you can't run the ball.
Yeah, put him in the slot or something. Like, think of something. Heck, you put Ray Davis in the backfield too.
Yeah.
If you want. I mean, like, he looked. He only had a couple catches, but it was nice to see at least him. Get back in the flow a little bit because he's been kind of a disappointment so far. But I mean, it just. I don't know. It's just that, especially on your point, you leave Cook in the game. He's our best player, and also too, we just have no one that's winning on the outside right now, receiver wise. Maybe maybe during the trade deadline, maybe we address that. You know what I mean? I don't know exactly who you would get. I know Olave's been talked as a possibility. Rashid Shaheed. I mean, those would be great guys to bring in, but who's to say that the Saints want to trade those guys?
Right. I think if you're gonna get one of those guys from the Saints, you're probably more likely to get Olave because he's in the last year of his contract.
I think Shaheed's restricted too.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then don't listen to me.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where it's like, I could see the Saints giving up on one of those guys just to be like, hey, let's just get something for him.
Yeah, if they think they can get a return.
Right. And but yeah, there's just so much. You can only do so much, and I think we're seeing a lot of defenses play man against us and realize our guys aren't getting open, and our offensive line's getting beat all of a sudden where it's been one of the best in the league for a while. So you got to put James Cook in the slot, get a mismatch on him and a linebacker or something, and you really got to get a guy or two to win man to where you're like, listen, if you're going to keep running man, we're going to expose you the whole time. And then if they want to start stacking the box, it's like, all right, well then we're going to have receivers open, or if you want to focus and put two high safeties, we're going to run the ball.
Yeah.
You got to be able to beat them on all aspects, and we saw glimpse of it. In the games we were winning, I mean, they had every chance to get right back in the game versus Atlanta, and they just couldn't do it. I mean, our defense played like crap the first half, and the second half, they only allowed 3 points.
Yeah.
So they made a huge adjustment, but then it's like, it was crazy that an offense led by Josh Allen couldn't go down and score 7 points.
Yeah.
And there was a stat, I think Drake London was the only wide receiver for the Falcons to catch a pass that game.
I believe it. I don't remember anyone else. Maybe that Washington guy maybe caught one or two, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it was him and Pitts and Bijan.
Yeah.
And I think Pitts only had like a couple catches.
Yeah, he didn't do much.
So, and then Benford started shadowing London later in the game, which I don't know why he's not on everyone's number one every game.
Yeah, especially when he, you know what I mean. I get maybe if you open up a zone, you're just like, let's see how it goes and stuff like that. That's our defense. But when you see London's just getting fed and he's just killing you, you got to make that adjustment and just be like, hey, you know what I mean? We got to man up on this guy. Like, we can't just sit in the zone and just let him, eat us alive. Like,
right? Yeah, no, I agree. And I was also thinking, I wonder at one point if they're gonna let Josh call his own plays at some point. And the reason I say that is because I feel like he was getting frustrated not only with the lack of success, but I feel like with the play calls as well. And he's not going to be one to just audible out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you give Josh the ability on that 3rd and 1 where they're running that stupid jet sweep,
man, don't get me started on that.
You're telling me Josh isn't calling his own number to go sneak it right up the middle?
That might be the stupidest play call I've ever seen.
And it's been 3 weeks in a row.
We have Josh Allen, outside of probably Hurts, is probably one of the best at the tush push in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to save Josh, fine, just run the ball normally. We have James Cook.
Dude, put Reggie Gilliam in as quarterback to sneak it if you're worried about Josh. I mean,
or Trubisky even.
Yeah, put a tight end, do whatever. Yeah. Put Jackson Hawes in there.
Yeah, it's just beyond me, especially since we ran it the 1 week with Knox of all people. It's like, yeah, let's put our burner Knox on like a.
So it was 3 weeks in a row. It was.
Oh, it was 3 weeks in a row.
It was the Saints game. It was the New England game, and then it was Atlanta. So it was the first time it was Curtis Samuel.
Yep.
Okay, then it was Knox. Then it was Elijah Moore. And it didn't work the first time. It didn't work the second time. I don't know why the heck you thought it was going to work the third time.
Yeah.
The same exact play, running the same exact way to the right on the same exact down and distance.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
It's just beyond me why you would keep running the play, even to the run it. Maybe if you run it once, be like, hey, maybe we'll fool them. You know what I mean? But it obviously isn't working, and we fumbled on the play.
I would think after you fumbled it, you'd throw that play out.
Yeah, it'd be like, all right, it's obviously not working.
Yeah, I would think you would not want to touch that one again.
So a lot of flack has come on a receiver room and stuff like that. And I agree as well. We don't really have like a burner separator type guy. I get that, but I think another possibility we have to look into is I think Dan Orlovsky was bringing it up during the broadcast, was like, we're not moving our receivers around a lot. Like, we're not, you know what I mean? Like, say what you want about Coleman. I know he's come with his, you know what I mean? He hasn't been great at all. I'm not trying to defend him, but I will say this, you know what I mean? He's got, you know, that A.J. Terrell on him. He's a great cornerback. You know, why aren't we putting him in motion, putting him in the slot to try to get him off? And we want him in better matchups. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's just, I don't know. I don't know if we're putting these guys in the best position to succeed.
Yeah, no, I agree. I heard a lot of, you know, Coleman should be lined up in the slot, and I feel like, you know, he could probably be a lot better off in the slot. Mm-hmm. Especially because I feel like with how big, you know, his frame is, I feel like a lot of slot corners are usually a little bit like smaller, a little bit quicker, which is fine. But I mean, if you're, you know, lined up against Coleman, that's where you should be able to take advantage, and he can like box those guys out and just outmuscle them. But yeah, I know. At some point, you know, someone's got to. I think, you know, Palmer was a guy they were hoping could stretch the field. I mean, we saw it on the first play.
Yeah,
they threw it to him 30-something yards down the field, and you know, and I was like, wow. I was like, man, we haven't really seen that.
No,
you know, we don't really see deep passes, and it's not even like he was really open. He just made a great catch.
Yeah, he made a great catch. Like, and that's one unfortunate thing about this game is I felt it looked like from the beginning it was going to be a Josh Palmer breakout game.
Right.
Obviously, you know what I mean. That he came out with his injury. Then it also didn't help too that Kincaid was out. That definitely hurts. And really, Kincaid's been the only thing in this passing game this season that's been what you would have to consider good. I mean, you really can't throw much of the blame on him this season. But
yeah, it's just been, you know, a rough past couple of weeks. Like you said, the bye's coming at a great time. Hopefully they can get their stuff together and, you know, most importantly get healthy. And then we know we got Carolina in a couple weeks.
Carolina was not going to be an easy game.
No, it's not. Especially that's a team that likes to run the ball, and we can't stop the run.
Yeah, I mean that Rico Dowdle, man. I mean, he looks like one of the best running backs in the league right now. I mean,
yeah, he's been good.
If there was one, so you only can choose one thing that, you know what I mean, you can change about the Bills, where it's like addressing a positional need, whatever. Because the thing is, like, everyone's saying we should do all these things. These are all off-season type adjustments. Yeah. So
you can't fix it all right now.
But I think you can maybe fix one. What's probably like the biggest thing on your list?
I think it just comes down to realistically adding somebody offensively or defensively. Mm-hmm. You know, I feel like you're either on board with the get another wide receiver, or you're on board with the help the defense and the secondary and whatnot. Me, I'm more on that help the secondary. And the reason I say that is because, I mean, seeing this team and, like, you know, not to get too off subject, but, like, the playoff numbers for our offense and Josh, we're not losing playoff games because of our offense.
No.
We're losing playoff games because of our defense, and that really made me realize that defense wins championships. Mm-hmm. And I think if you can get another guy, whether it's, you know, a corner, whether it's a safety, somebody that could just be a threat to where other teams are going to be like, we got to watch out for that guy. Mm-hmm. Like, we can't just try to pick on these guys.
Right.
You know, And I mean, whether it's somebody that's on the team like Bishop, or whether Harrison gets healthy and is back in soon, I really want to see something with the defense. I mean, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. They could be making calls for people they could not be making calls. But if I'm the Bills, I'm shopping around whatever picks you got. Your first round picks, it'd be at the end of the first round every year.
Yeah.
So it's like if you can go get somebody that fits into your, salary cap and all that stuff that you can plug in right away. And a lot of times though they don't, because the people that if they're going to trade for, they don't know the defense. But at some point, you can't just keep bringing back just people who've been here just because they've been here.
I'm just way over at this point. You know what I mean? Like, that is a good point. Like, I'm sick of us bringing in like these guys. Like, we got rid of them because they were washed years ago.
Yeah.
So what makes you think bringing them back now? Like, I get like it's a great story and stuff like that. Like, trust me, I love Trey White, Poyer, even Gabe Davis. You know what I mean? I love all those guys. Jordan Phillips. They're great. They're still gonna be great locker room guys and all that. But we got like I said, we got rid of them because we thought, you know what I mean, we can do better.
Exactly.
And now you're bringing them back years later when there's, you know what I mean, they're not their prime selves anymore. Are we thinking that it could be the answer? Like,
yeah, at some point, I know they're all about the culture and stuff there. They don't want distractions in the locker room. Like, CJ Gardner-Johnson just demanded his release from the Ravens practice squad. That's a guy who's out there that can come in and play. But I know he's the type of guy that, comes with drawing attention and stuff like that. But at some point, you got to put aside, the culture and be like, hey, we need ballers. Like, we need guys that can come and help us win. Forget about this, that, and the third. Like, yeah, there's videos of him and Baker Mayfield getting to it on the field, but it's like, you know what? Maybe you need somebody like that.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, when I saw Josh go off the field and he was like getting ready to throw his helmet and stuff, I'm like, you know what? I'm like, hell yeah. I'm like, Josh, you got to get mad. Like, don't just be like, oh man, it's our third 3 and out. Like, all right, give me a high five, guys. It's okay. Like, no, at some point, like, you got to like go up to guys and be like, let's just get our what together, and like, that's what I want to see. It's not always rainbows and butterflies, and it's just like, hey, pat yourself on the back. You tried. It's like, at some point you gotta get fired up and be like, guys, like, what the hell are we doing? And I'm not gonna lie, it was encouraging to see Josh getting PO'd, because it's like, that's what
Someone
I want. That's what I want. I want that competitor to come out of him.
I think that's a good point. When we go off that point even more, like, I feel our receiver room is lacking a leader, and I think that's kind of because obviously Diggs was it for a while, but I felt last year Matt Collins was like that leader. Even though you can say he wasn't the best receiver in the room and stuff like that, obviously Matt Collins isn't getting 1,000 yards in a season anytime soon. But he was the leader of the room. You know what I mean? You had like that, guy that is going to go out there. You know what I mean? Get the guys going. I just feel like that room is missing. I feel like a lot of the positional rooms are missing it right now. That's why even though I do think Poyer's washed, I do like having him out there just for that reason, just a little bit, because I feel like he's someone that's going to, you know what I mean, be a leader on the defense, you know what I mean, get after guys, hold guys accountable.
Right.
But yeah, I'm just hoping that they at least make some type of move here. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not looking good right now.
Right. Yeah, I'll be interested to see. I mean, hopefully, we can make a video next week, even when we don't have a game, and it's talking about, some good news that we traded for somebody, or, whatever the case may be. But if not, it's going to be a long 2 weeks, and we'll be prepping up for Carolina.
Yeah, we'll be prepping for Carolina. Yeah, we'll definitely have a prepping for Carolina episode. But, off of that, though, I think it's going to do it for this one. I appreciate everyone listening. Hopefully the Bills figure out their bye week blues. You know what I mean? It's been a rough couple weeks. But, hey, we're still 4-2. But until next time, peace out.